Okay, this is my video about my new mini Chinese excavator. I bought this for my property. I have a lot of projects that I can utilize it with. I normally don't do YouTube videos, but I've never seen one of these on YouTube. This model is different than everything else. It's a brand new model this year. I bought it in Southern California. I live in Northern California. So let's move in and we'll talk about what's different. First of all, this is the DM12X-PLUS. And I'll come around, I've made some modifications already. I'll go over those in a minute. So there's the nameplate on it. And what that gives you is multiple different things. First off, which is kind of funny, it's got a rear and front camera. You can see that little teeny camera right there. That is displayed on these displays that it has. One is actually for engine operation. The other one is kind of like a navigation window in your car. It has Bluetooth, which is really funny, with little teeny speakers up there. Let's see, what else? So if we turn the key on, I'll show you what this display is. It's very dirty. Hopefully you can see it. But it gives you fuel level. It gives you engine RPMs in the center there. I believe that's your engine oil temperature. You can go in, sorry I can't see it because of the sun, but you can go in and look at warnings, information about the machine. Let's see. I apologize, I can barely see this. And then you can go in and set time and things like that. I like that. Nice to know the fuel level and engine temperature and things like that. It has this Bluetooth display. I haven't played with it much. The FM doesn't work because I'm guessing it doesn't have an antenna. But if you click on it, it does try to do something. I've got the volume turned down. I tried a bunch of channels. Nothing works. Let's turn that key off. This is your throttle control. And you can actually see it. Up here you see the engine RPM. Sorry, up there, engine RPM. You run this at about half speed. You don't want to go full speed. You don't need it. I opted for the pilot controls. I didn't want to lean over and have to control it. This is your bucket, in, out, your boom, out, and in. Over here, we have your dipper, out and in. I also opted for the boom swing. You press this button, and then the boom will swing left and right. And then this rotates the cab left and right. I got a thumb. I wanted to have a hydraulic thumb because I do a lot of, as you can see, a lot of woodwork here, and that way I can pick up logs and cut them. 1 foot right here is a dummy. The other one is for your thumb. Your controls here. This is for moving forward and backward, and this is for your blade down there. Let's see. I greased everything. I found that most of the fittings up in the front were not greased at all. I went through the whole machine. I think it's interesting that they use 2 different kinds of grease fittings on this. Most of them are those needle grease fittings. Let's see if I can show you one. Probably all seen one if you've watched one of these videos. But it's just a little teeny little port there. Let me get this grease off my finger. But what I think is very interesting is they've got all those, and then I believe to grease the rotating mechanism. Let's see. Can't tell if I'm showing you that. notice right there, they have regular fittings. So I think that's kind of interesting. So you need 2 different kinds of grease guns to do this. That's hydraulic fill there. That's your battery cover plate. I've got some grip tape. This is slick. They had some kind of weird little useless pad there, and I'm going to put grip tape across the whole thing. My upgrades that I did was, it had bolts like most of them, and I wanted to have quick access, so I put these quick release clasps on it so that I can get in. As you can see inside here, it's got a hydraulic cooling fan, has a hydraulic filter. I put in an auxiliary cooling fan. I haven't finished it yet. It's just installed, but I'm waiting for the switch, which I will mount up here in one of these locations. It's automatic choke. There's no choke on this. It starts itself. Like you saw, it actually does have a fuel gauge. Like most of them, the fuel is up here. Now this is what's unusual about this unit. This is a fuse box. So we have fuses here. One of the things that it does is it has, right here, it has a lockout. So that if you're running the machine, you can lock it out so that when you try to get out, you don't hit one of these and throw yourself off the machine and kill yourself. I did find out that this, down here, you can see this little relay. Let's see if I can get that. That relay right there is connected to the switch, but it also has a temp sensor, and it will disable it, which I found out because I did over temp it, and I don't know why. The first day I got it, it ran perfect. I drove it around the property, just playing with it, just getting used to it. And then the next day I came out and it was dead. No battery, nothing. So I jumped it, it ran. I drove it, I had to turn it off, I had to jump it every time I ran it. Then I went over and I tried to clear that blackberry bramble a little bit. And the boom, basically all the hydraulics except for the tracks were not functional. And if you looked at the display when I clicked into warnings, it actually said hydraulic fluid over temp or high temp. So I'm guessing that I had a high hydraulic fluid temperature problem. It wasn't a hot day, it was probably 85 degrees. I don't know why it did that. Now, I think what may have happened is that, and of course this happened when the battery failed, is that there might have been some kind of short or something, and it stopped the fan from working, which is why my hydraulic fluid got so hot. And that night, this is the first day, of course, because of that little short or whatever it was, it drained the battery. Now the funny thing is that I ran it for a while. The battery recharged. I did play with these electrical connectors. They're kind of, I mean, it's just a rat's nest in here. I did check some of the connections just to make sure there wasn't something loose. I've never had a problem since. I don't know what happened, why it did it, but if it isn't broken, I'm not going to try to fix it. I changed the oil. One of the things I'm going to do, another mod, is I'm going to change this to a tube. I bought one, but it doesn't fit. And basically it's an extension tube that comes out here, and you can just push it down through here and pour it into an oil container. It's not too bad. I parked it on a little bit of a hill and it didn't make too much of a mess, but still, I'd rather not have oil all floating around inside there. Let's see what else. I did that mod. I'm doing the grip tape. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Oh, it's got a pull start like most of them. It does. This is one thing that concerns me a little bit. As you see that right there, That's some kind of control module for all the electronics. And I'm hoping that I don't ever have to replace that, because I don't know, I think getting parts for this thing is not going to be easy. That's some kind of generic, who knows, Chinese thing. Oh, I didn't show you these. So I have right here, I've got lights on the front. This right there. Your front and rear camera, which is actually displayed up on that display. It's right here. And I don't know what this is for. So one of the things that happened with this is that it came with a manual. The manual only talks about the engine. It doesn't explain any of this to you. It's a rabbit and a turtle. I don't know what it does. It doesn't seem to do much. And then the lockout switch I explained before. I think that pretty much covers it. Oh, one thing that, so they've got this one, let's see, where was it? This grease fitting up underneath there. I hope you can see that right there. Well, how are you supposed to get to that without some kind of flexible flexible tube to get up in there? I don't have one. So I released this connection here and pulled the hydraulic out of the way. And I will tell you, be very careful. I thought about this before I did it, because obviously once you release that, and you have to have it up in the air to get to that, when you release that, this thing's going to want to fall. So you need to strap it up. I strapped it to this. I took 2 different straps across it, strapped it up, and then I released this nut and pulled the hydraulics out and was able to get in there and grease it. I think I mentioned, but all 4 of those, or all 3 of these down here, no grease, totally dry. I just changed that bucket. I had a 14-inch bucket. Most of what I need to do is trenching, so I need a smaller bucket. I do have a smoothing bucket, and I apologize for my mess. I'm in the middle of building this shed. I'm almost done. That's 2 portions, and there's going to be a 3rd right next to it. So I've got 1 spot for my tractor, the far end is for wood, and then I've got a spot for the excavator. I want to keep all this out of the weather. Besides that, I love it. It's a lot of fun. I want to call it a toy. It feels like a toy, but it actually does some real work, and you don't want to treat it like a toy. You'll kill yourself. It's very sensitive. I'm still learning how to operate it. It is, the controls, and I think that's just me not ever using one of these, but they are very touchy. And also, any person that runs an excavator will know that you need to do multiple operations. So like whenever you're digging, you have to bring your bucket in and also bring your dipper in at the same time in order to work it properly. And I'm still working on that. Doing those 2 functions at the same time, very difficult. But I'm learning. I've only got, I think the machine's got 10 hours. I've probably done about 5 real hours of work on it. The blade, it's very light, I will tell you that much. One of the other things I want to do is somehow I'm going to try to fashion some weight in the back end of this. I think at least 100 pounds back there would probably be appropriate. It's just super light, and it tends to want to flop around a little. But that's also knowing how to work the machine, putting the blade down when you're working with it. Don't work from the side unless you're doing something very easy, because it will tip to the side easy. But that's it. Oh, no seatbelt. I know, that's a no-no. They don't come with them. I'm on that fence of, I don't think this roll cage, if you could call it that, will save me if this thing goes over. And I don't know whether I want to be able to bail out or not. I think probably just don't tip it over. Don't make that mistake. So Anyways, that's my video. Thanks for watching. I wanted to put this out there because I haven't seen this model. I searched a bunch of times and you cannot find the DM12X-PLUS model. It definitely has some gizmos and gadgets that most don't. So thanks for watching, and maybe I'll do some more in the future. Like I said, I'm not a YouTube video poster, but because this is such a unique machine, I want to throw that out there.